Twain famously said that there are a couple of things that you don't want to see in the process of being made: laws and sausages. And I agree. But see, everybody's deliverable has a little something in it, a little part that, we really don't want to share. Now, most of us are pretty clear that if we're going to be on camera, we are going to at least comb our hair or, neaten up a little bit, particularly in the environment where we're zooming ourselves or teaming ourselves or acrobating ourselves to all sorts of heights. But the thing is, some of us actually have other stuff that we do, not just combing our hair. And I will admit, when I know I'm going to be on camera, I take a little bit of extra time. That's not unusual. But there are parts to taking a little extra time that are not attractive. And I don't necessarily want to share, shall we say, with everybody how this particular sausage gets made. And that's called boundary management. You see, boundary management isn't about reducing transparency. It's about controlling timing and determining which is more important: the end result, or a process that's perfectly ethical, perfectly legal, quite professional, and extremely messy to watch. So I said earlier that transparency and boundary management could coexist, and they really, really can. It's not just sausages and laws, but also sometimes pre-production work. Let's just say it's not the most attractive moment on camera. And that's okay, because I can be fully transparent and I can also set boundaries. You'll notice that in all of the years I've been doing videos, this is the first time you've ever seen something like this. And that's okay. If you have a new product and you're in the middle of testing, absolute 100% transparency would say, if the client asks on a day when you happen to be having a bad test cycle, you would tell them. But see, boundary management says, of course you're going to have a couple of bad test cycles. But do you really want to discuss it with the client then? Or how about after, so that they understand what you did and the trouble you went to make sure that it was as good as possible? So think about it. Boundary management and transparency that includes a sense of timing. Because sometimes, while the result, I like this, is worth it, it doesn't necessarily mean that you want to share the entire process by which the result came about. Absolutely, we want to make sure that our clients and our stakeholders know everything that they need to know. And I am not a big fan of pretending things don't exist just so I don't have to speak of them. Ask anybody who knows me really well. There's a time element to transparency that serves and builds the relationship and the trust level. And without it, it's frankly just the equivalent of verbally vomiting all over people, whether it's convenient for them or not, whether it makes sense for them or not, and whether or not it serves your overarching mission, which is to accomplish the project's objective and deliver an amazing deliverable. So, 1, keep the end in mind. 2, remember, all the work that you do is important. It also might be better done with very little interference. And 3, just because they don't see you do things doesn't mean they're not aware you're doing it. And maybe after you've delivered something amazing, you can let them in on what it took to deliver that. One, sausages and laws, they're not the only things you probably don't want to see. There are things you just don't want to see being made. Sausages, laws, lots of pre-production. Two, transparency does not have to be sacrificed for boundary management. A little bit of timing consideration doesn't hurt. And three, boundary management is part of communications management and building trust. So don't accidentally destroy it. This video was brought to you by the Leadership Driven Project Management Academy. If you enjoy these lessons and other lessons, please like or subscribe. I'm Kimi. Thanks for joining us.